Well, I decided to add a couple more cloud shapes to the sky. I don't know that they're necessary, but I kind of like the idea. So that's what we'll do. The good thing is, I can paint over them if it's been a horrible mistake. But I don't think it has been, because this area is all not one hue but related hues. I thought that it might be a benefit to the painting to break it up a little bit. On a smaller painting, not so, but again, this painting is pretty large. And I believe that we need to take that into account. You know, there's something I'd like to reiterate. My comments regarding well, while I'm painting. My comments, they're not intended to tell you how to do things. Mostly, they're intended to show you my thinking process as I go through these things. And maybe indirectly, that can be an aid to you when you're painting as well. But I'm not saying to you, it has to be done this way or it has to be done that way. There are so many ways of doing things, so many different techniques, and obviously so many different tastes, you know, that people have, artists and viewers. So yeah, that's really it. You know, I'm when I comment on things, it's because, well, I'm trying to be helpful, but really what I'm doing is speaking to my methods, and which of course are dictated partly by my tastes and my view on how to approach a painting that I'm working on. And it's very specific to individual paintings as well, because that's going to change. One painting or another, it depends on size, it depends on, well, multiple things. So don't get me wrong, when I say you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that, I'm really mostly talking to myself. There are some guidelines in there, but that's what they are. They're suggestions, some guidelines. There's never a never, and there's never an always, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I think that's going to help. I think that's going to break it up a little bit and may be a benefit. I had to tone the wash down a little bit in this area. My values were so high that it didn't leave me very far to go before I reached maximum values. I don't necessarily want to use maximum values here. Maybe just below that, because I need some intensity here as well. So yeah, so I toned that wash-in down in this area. Now I'm just taking a lot of globs of paint and laying in, you know, starting up here, ultramarine blue, bit of alizarin crimson, bit of burnt sienna. Getting rid of the burnt sienna as we move this way. Then getting rid of the alizarin crimson. Then just going to the ultramarine blue. Then introducing cobalt blue to the mix with a hint of alizarin crimson. Then removing the alizarin crimson and going into cobalt blue and yellow ochre. Varying degrees of white, of course, and all this stuff. So I'm sort of slowly closing in on an area. This is an instance where I'm going to be, you know, putting on a lot of paint and then sort of guessing where I want which colors, and then after this distant bluish purplish green areas filled in, the far sky. Then I'm going to go into it and I'm going to sculpt and carve. I'm keeping the paint quite unmixed. If I leave it as it sits, it may end up looking a little bit too busy. So we'll see, but that allows me the opportunity to go back into it and change a few strokes here and there without killing the streak, you know, the bits of variety that you have in every stroke of your paint. Well, that I have in every stroke of my paint on this painting so far. So I'm going to carry on with that. Well, let's finish this part of the painting here. We're still using a bit of cobalt blue, but really going to pretty strongly to yellow ochre now. Just Getting some design around this cloud. Getting a little more ochre-y, a little warmer. Don't want to get those temperatures too hot just yet. Yeah, okay. I think that's all right. Let's see. I think we'll carry it right over to that side. I really don't want the, this spot here is where the light will start. Head off in this direction. Well, not completely, because it's going to join into the rock. So, maybe I don't have to worry too much about it. I was going to say I don't want to line this intensity up right over this intensity, but no, it's going to be on the rocks as well, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. Yeah, that's coming to life pretty well, I think. A little more cobalt blue, a little more yellow ochre, a little more white, but not too much. Okay, I think that was a good guess. So this canvas is aggressive enough. Like you see me lay a line against the cloud, and then I'll go across it like that. I'm just getting rid of any ridges that may be built up where the dark meets the light. I don't want these edges to be too hard. You know, this is the sky. It's full of clouds. I want to keep them a little bit clean, because I may, when I paint the sky, when I paint this cloud, I may incur into the background paint a little bit, sort of gently. So I want to make things a little bit easier on myself regarding that, and that's why I do that. I just sort of clean it as I go. Anyway, that's when it comes to painting with a knife, that's a habit I've found kind of beneficial. Just sticking with the cobalt blue and the yellow ochre. There's a lot of my tint, or not my tint, but my wash end showing through on this painting, and that's fine. You know, my tint is substantial, or the wash-in is substantial enough that workmanship-wise, it's fine. You know, it's okay. Okay, we have some fairly intense light showing up here. I don't think it's so strong that it's going to compete with this. You know, we have kind of this thing, you know. You might be thinking, I don't know, but you might be thinking, why has he got this intensity? This is halfway through the painting. Why so close to center? You know, in many ways that's a no-no. But here's how I look at it. Boom. And it sort of fades off to the right. It trickles off, fades down. Same family of colors. I'd still call that a blue sky. If I open my eyes quickly and shut them again, what color is this sky? Well, it's blue. So this is the only blue sky in the entire sky, right? So even though the intensity is here, it pulls so much to the right, it's not a problem. I'm not moving the focal point because this isn't the focal point. Focal point technically will probably be around here. But because we've got the explosion and then it sort of fades off to the right, backed up by very strong vertical lines here and then fading off to the right, very strong design and here fading off to the right. Our most interesting package is going to be in this area. So it's all kind of suggestive as far as where your focal point is. I shouldn't even be saying things like focal point. It's really focal area. It really is. I don't even like the idea of a focal point. It's the sort of thing that it seems to be, you can drum it up after your painting is finished if you want. Certainly on large canvas. Anyway, I'm playing. I think this is going to be good. I'm going to groom a few areas here and there, but in general, I don't know that it needs much. I was a little fearful that it would be a bit busy, but no, maybe not, you know. Maybe it'll be okay. Okay.